Hare Krishna. Welcome everybody, and I hope you're all doing well. So, we are going to discuss second lesson, and this is Krishna concept of infinity. So in yesterday's discussion, we had discussed many nice points, like you gave many nice perspectives on I don't know, I have everything on, so sound should be coming. So we discussed about perfect design and then perfect order. Perfect design means, so basically we are discussing the empirically how can we say that I am different from matter. So basically I exist separate from matter, and then Krishna exists or God exists, and God is sustaining me. So we saw how beautiful design is there now in this universe, which is not possible without perfect design, and basically which hints or which makes it very evident that somebody must have designed it. And secondly, somebody must be maintaining it, because it is not that just God made the world and then he died, right? It requires constant maintenance, and yesterday we discussed many things in our own lives which needs maintenance. Okay, so today we are going to discuss the law of karma. So now we are slowly moving to, like, we started from very non-living matter, right, dull matter, and now slowly we are transitioning to more and more symptoms of life, like the law of karma. This comes from observing living beings, right? Law of karma is not applicable for dead matter. It comes by observing. When we observe living beings around us, when we observe other people around us, other animals and plants around us, and we observe our own lives, then we say, oh, why this, how do I explain so many observations in human beings or in living beings? Okay, so this is what we read. We start with our prayers first. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshitarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, so we are reading second chapter, and this is empirical evidence, the law of karma. One might surely question after reading the above section that though much of what we need is provided by the nature itself, okay, why is the world full of disparities? Some are rich, some are poor. Some are born healthy, while some drag with sickness. Bad people seem to flourish, good people seem to suffer. Without committing any apparent mistake, I seem to be suffering. Okay. So these are different observations of living beings around me. So we see everything comes from nature, right? Everything, whatever I need, it is coming from nature. Like food, I need, the food which I need to sustain myself, it comes from nature. But still, food is not available to everybody, right? Even in the same community or in the same locality, some people have lots of food, some people have hardly any food. So why there is so much disparity? Even if the nature is providing food and nature is not discriminating, but still in our lives we see so much disparity. Somebody has a lot of food, somebody does not have food. Somebody has lots of resources, and some people don't have resources. Even if the resources are coming from the same nature, means resources means somebody is rich, somebody is poor. So why so much disparity? And similarly about health, some people are healthy, some people are sick. Same environment, so many people are living, right? Like in Kanpur, so many people are living, but some people have dust allergy, some people have allergy from pollen and pollution, and some people don't have any allergies. So why so much disparity? Why so much difference? So like that we keep analyzing and we see more and more disparities. But why should there be disparities if nature is equal to all? Nature does not discriminate, right? If I eat or if I put my hand in fire, it will burn. It won't discriminate whether I put or somebody else puts, right? Similarly, I feel hungry, somebody else also feels hungry, so nature is same. But still, then why so many differences? Why is it so? This brings us to the law of karma that is summed up in the adage, as you sow, so shall you reap. So as you sow, so shall you reap. Whatever we do, whatever actions we sow, that results we reap later. Okay. Not just in terms of reactions, but we also see the law of karma at work in terms of inspiration that comes from within. So many people are working on the same problem. Some people get inspired with the solution, many don't. Right? Newton was working on problems. Similarly, all his contemporary scientists were working on problems, but he got the idea, okay, F is equal to ma, but nobody else was inspired. Or even if you see in the same family, there are kids are there, right? And they are together, they study together, they go to school together, they stay together, play together, get up together, sleep together, everything they do together in the same house, in the same family. But still, somebody likes to study a particular subject, let's say poetry. Somebody likes to study poetry, somebody is fascinated by poetry, but the other person is fascinated by something else, maybe football, right? So they have very different interests, and not just interests, but even the inspiration which comes from within, that is very different. So you will see that all of the scientific discoveries, artistic discoveries, etc., happen because of sudden inspiration. If that inspiration is not there, you will not be functional. Some inspiration must come from within. People spend so much time working on small problems. So that inspiration is there, that is why they are able to continue, right? So for example, we are, in the past few days, we have been seeing so many different concepts, and these concepts are inspiring us with many ideas, but everybody is getting inspired in a different way. Somebody gets inspired by relationship with Krishna, somebody gets inspired by the very idea that we are different from matter. So different people get inspired in different ways, and that makes us more functional, that we read with more interest, and we want to learn in that direction with more interest, right? And sometimes this inspiration is so profound that it impacts generations. It impacts the nation, it impacts the world, and whatever may happen, finally you will see always virtue wins and evil is defeated in the long run. For example, it appeared like Hitler had been conquering the world, but ultimately he was vanquished. There is the law of karma and the law of nature. Many times we can experience these laws, but sometimes we are cognizant and reflect on them. Okay, so Hitler was very inspired when he was a child. Not child, means kind of young person. He was inspired to join the army, and he enrolled for the army, and then he was very inspired that he should become the leader, and he was very different kind of personality, very he had those leadership qualities and very clear vision. His vision was very faulty, but he had a clear vision that this is what I want to do. I want to make Germany or that race the best and just annihilate everybody else. He was inspired for that goal and he was working very hard towards that. But ultimately, we always see virtue wins and evil is defeated in the long run. Right? Ultimately, virtue wins, evil is defeated. So there is the law of karma and the law of nature. Many times we can experience these laws, but sometimes we are cognizant and reflect on them. So we are experiencing, right? We are experiencing there are disparities, there are differences, but sometimes we become really conscious of them and then we start thinking, oh, see, there is this difference. I never noticed. I'll give you an example on this. This is not from law of karma, but from our language, the language which we use. So there is a difference between experience and becoming cognizant and reflecting on it. So I'm trying to explain this point. Experiencing something versus becoming cognizant of something and reflecting on it. Basically, experiencing something and formalizing it means recognizing the difference and trying to see that difference is there because of some reason. So I give an example from language. I am from Punjab, so I speak Punjabi, and I have been speaking Punjabi from childhood, right? From my childhood, I have been hearing Punjabi, speaking Punjabi, and but never I don't. Okay, I will give you an example. So I was with some linguists during my postdoc, and my supervisor is a linguist. That my postdoc supervisor was a linguist. So she told me, okay, in Chinese we have tonal language, which means there is a pitch which also matters. Like if I say ma, 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 so all these three are different words, or they mean very different in Chinese. But in Hindi you say ma or ma, they're all same. But in Chinese they are different, and so that's why Chinese is a tonal language. It has got a tone. Means the pitch or the tone is also important in determining the meaning. And I told her, oh, this is so strange. I never knew that pitch is also, some language can have pitch also in it, because I have never experienced it. And then she asked me, oh, you are from Punjab? I said, yes. Punjabi is also tonal language. I said, oh, really? I cannot believe that. And she gave me example. She said, when you say, okay, I will just tell it, and I'm sure you won't be able to make out the difference. Adak versus adak. Oh no, not this. Okay. Pra versus para. So these two words are exactly same phonemes. Para versus pra. So maybe those who know Punjabi, they can make out the difference. Pra means brother, but para means, okay, like para Shakti or Krishna. So what is the difference? The difference is only in the tone. And so she told me that Punjabi is also a tonal language. And then I recognized the difference. I became cognizant of it suddenly. Like I have experienced it. I have been experiencing since childhood, and I know this is a difference. But I was never cognizant of it, and I never reflected on it, and I never knew, oh, this is what is making the difference, right? But when she told me that perspective, then immediately, oh, really? Yes, this makes sense. Right? And this is just one example, and she told so many different examples from languages, and I said, oh, I never knew that my language has this property also. Although I have experienced it, but I was never cognizant that this is such a big thing. Okay, so law of karma mentioned in Gita somewhere, directly or indirectly. Law of karma. Mm. There is a verse called Karmana Deva Netrena Jantur Dehopapatyai Jantur Dehopapatate Striya Pravishta Udaram Pumsa Retah Kanashaya. This is Karmana Deva Netrena Jantur Dehopapatate. Means we get our next body based on karma and Deva Netrena, which means because of demigods, by the demigods, by the nature of, by the arrangement of destiny. So karma and destiny that gives us our next body. This verse is from, I'm not sure, Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam, maybe Bhagavatam. In Bhagavad Gita, there are so many, like Karma Yoga is there, and so many, yes, Karma Yoga is definitely there, but law of karma in the sense that you sow, as you sow, so shall you reap. Maybe somebody answer? Anybody who would like to answer? Is law of karma mentioned in Gita somewhere directly or indirectly? Krishna says, Karmane vadhikarasya ma phaleshu kadachana, that we have right to perform activity but not on the results, which is because the results are decided by our previous karma and by the divine arrangement, or means the destiny, or by the demigods. That is one indirect reference. And then Krishna says, while describing the three modes of material nature, Krishna says, Urdhvam gachanti satvastha, madhye tishtanti rajastha, jaghanya gunavrittistha, adho gachanti tamasa. That those who are in mode of goodness, they go to higher planets or higher destinations. Those who are in mode of passion, they stay in the middle, means earthly planet. And those who are in the mode of ignorance, they glide down to lower species of life, which means they go to less conscious species of life. So this is also this indicates law of karma, because we do our actions based on three modes of material nature, and depending on our karma, three modes are controlling our karma, and that karma decides our next destination. Okay. Question of Raj Kumar Prabhu is, why result of karma continue in next birth? Good question. So, because we are eternal, so our accounts are also eternal. I mean, eternal means we are, as long as we are here in this world, in the material world, our account is on, our account is open. And when we leave this world, we go to spiritual world, then this account will be closed. Right? Just like when you are in America, you have your bank account there, and when you leave, then you cannot maintain your account there, because you are not in the same country. So you have to close your account and open an account in whichever country you go. Right? Okay. So yeah. So it is very reasonable that because we are eternal, so our karma also goes with us to the next birth until we are in the material world. This is also logical. For example, if there is no law of karma, then if, for example, for me, if you tell me after I die, my karma won't go to the next life, then I'll be not conscious. I will not be careful. I will not be responsible. I will just do whatever nonsense I want to do, and then I will die. Right? And then I don't have to worry, because after death my karma is not carried forward. So this is also a philosophy. It's called, anybody can guess what is this philosophy called? The philosophy that our karma does not continue in the next birth. This is an atheistic philosophy, not a Bhagavad Gita or Vedanta philosophy. This is an atheistic philosophy, Charvak. So not Charvak, it is Charvak. Charvak. Okay, I'll spell it here. Charvak Muni. Charvak Muni Charvak Muni. Charvak Muni is he was a philosopher, and but he was an atheistic philosopher, and he will speculate and try to find ways to rationalize things in different ways, and so like that, an atheistic philosopher and likes to speculate. And he has given a philosophy called after his name, Charvak philosophy, which means so the punchline of this philosophy is Yavat jivet sukham jivet rinam kritva kritam pibet bhasmi bhutasya dehasya punaragamanam kutah. It means Yavat jivet sukham jivet. As long as you live very happily, means enjoy to the fullest extent. Rinam kritva ghritam pibet. So you take loan, beg, borrow, steal, and ghritam pibet means drink ghee, which means live a very lavish life. Enjoy your senses as much as possible. Drink ghee or whatever luxuries you want in life, just enjoy it. How? Beg, borrow, steal. Means don't worry about good or bad karma. Just do anything to enjoy it. And then he says, Bhasmi bhutasya dehasya, means the body, once it is bhasma, means once the body is burnt, means once you die and the body is burnt, punaragamanam kutaha. You are not going to come back to repay your debts or repay your accounts, right? So your account is over. As soon as you die, bhasmi bhutasya, your body has become ashes, account is over. That is it. You are not going to come back to repay your accounts, repay your debts. So that is Charvak philosophy. Exactly the same, that he says that our karma does not continue after death. He does not talk about next birth, but he says, okay, after death, who knows what happens, but at least I don't have to repay. Okay. So that is Charvak philosophy, which is against the law of karma. The law of karma is another verse from Bhagavad Gita which says which tells about law of karma could be simply Dehino asmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tatha dehantara prapte dhira saprinam muhyati. That just like we are changing our bodies from boyhood to youth to elderly person, similarly change of body is a very natural similar kind of process. Since our karma carries when we grow, so karma will also be carried over when we change our body, because that process is not different from changing my body now, which is happening continuously from young age to grown up age, right? So that is also that also indicates law of karma, that the karma continues between bodies and it naturally stays there. And anybody else remembers any other words from Bhagavad Gita which talks about law of karma? Okay, maybe if you remember you can quote. Okay, and then this section 1 is over. Oh, should have finished it yesterday only if I knew it was so small. That's the part which was left. Okay, so maybe I can ask a question at this point. Okay, how many of you have given the test? How many of you have given the test for chapter 1 in Learn Gita, Live Gita website? I mean, how many of you have not given? Okay. How many of you have not given the test yet? Good. Okay. Fine. So if you have not given, then do it quickly so that then you can give the second chapter test. So Rajkumar Prabhu can do it quickly. Okay. Anybody has any questions here, or else we'll move to the next section. Anybody has any questions here? Okay, I can ask. Okay, please ask questions. Chiranjeev Prabhu. please ask why dharma is applicable on soul only. Dharma or karma? Is it dharma or karma? Because we have been discussing about karma. Okay, dharma. Okay. So the literal meaning of dharma is, in quiz a question is asked. Okay. Okay. Then you should not share because there are people who have not given the quiz yet. We'll discuss after everybody has given the test. Right? In Maharashtra, Krishna talk about dharma. How is law of karma related to dharma? In Mahabharata, okay. Okay, Mahabharata. Mahabharata or Bhagavad Gita, right? So in Bhagavad Gita, which is also part of Mahabharata, Krishna talks about dharma. How is law of karma related to dharma? Okay. Law of karma is the law, which is the law of this material world, which we have to find, which we have to obey. But dharma is a different thing. The meaning of dharma is nature. Nature means the innate defining characteristic of something, the innate defining property of something. For example, if I say, what is the dharma of water? Can anybody tell? What is dharma of water? Okay, I will give an example first. Let's say salt. What is the defining characteristic of salt? What is the defining characteristic of salt? Okay, so first tell about salt. What is the defining? Salt's taste. Okay. If I ask salt's color, is it a defining characteristic of salt? Color? The color is a defining characteristic of salt, yes or no? Yes, no, 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 yes. So, okay, because salt can be white, it could be pink, it could be brownish, so it can have various colors, right? And but still it is salt. So color is not a defining characteristic of salt. The texture, the texture when you touch the salt, it feels something. The touch, how it feels, is that the defining characteristic of salt? The texture of salt? No. Okay. So salt can be like if you touch salt, it is like powder, right? Or little bit like small particles, right? But it could also be in the form of crystals. I have seen crystallized salt, and it is when I was in UK, there one devotee showed me. It is called flowers of salt. Flowers of salt, because these are small crystals. They look like flowers. So he got it from France, the devotee, and he showed me. So flowers of salt. So the texture of salt is not the defining characteristic. Then what is the defining characteristic of salt? It's the taste. As Chiranjit Prabhu mentioned, it is the taste of the salt which is the defining characteristic. Now see, if I take water, I put salt into it, so you won't be able to make out there is salt, right? But as soon as you taste, you can tell, yes, this water has got salt, right? So the defining characteristic of salt is its taste, the saltiness. So that is what is the defining characteristic, and that is what is the dharma of salt, the innate characteristic of salt. Okay, now tell me, what is the innate characteristic of water? What is the innate characteristic of water? Liquidity. Yeah. Liquidity. Yes. Yeah. water to flow. Water flows, liquidity. So anything we see which is flowing, we say it has water content. Like even in milk flows because there is water content into it. Okay. When we drink water, it quenches thirst. Yes, very good characteristic of water, that when we drink water, it quenches our thirst. That is also a defining characteristic of water. Another defining characteristic could be, which is very artificial, like if you electrolyze water, you get hydrogen and oxygen, right? But then the question will be, how do you detect hydrogen and oxygen, right? That is little bit problematic here. It is very complicated definition of dharma of water, that when you electrolyze it, you get hydrogen and oxygen. But okay, for people who understand that language, okay, take that answer. But for us, a simple answer is okay. It quenches our thirst and it has flowing property, the liquidity. Okay, so this is the meaning of dharma. So maybe now, if we see ourselves, what is our dharma? What is the defining characteristic of myself? So, what does adharma mean then? Okay. I will tell. Yes. So, we I think discussed in a previous section somewhere that everybody is a servant. We like to serve. And if we don't serve, we are not happy. We like to serve, we want to serve. Everybody serves. To have a relationship, yes. That is also very good answer. That the dharma of soul, or my very defining characteristic, is to have relationships. Okay. Yes. So dharma means acting as per our real nature. Acting as per our real nature, or that which takes us closer to our real nature. That is dharma. And that which takes us away from our real nature, that is adharma. Like soul naturally wants to have relationship, right? And it likes to serve. But if I start killing people, or if I start killing animals, that is adharma, because it is taking me away from my nature. Right? It is adharma. So, and also the laws of dharma are defined by this material world. Laws of nature are defined. So, laws of dharma are accordingly defined, because we know, let's say, we just now discussed urdhva gachanti sattvastha, madhya tishtanti rajasa, jagana guna vrittistha, adha gachanti tamasa. Which means, if we have mode of goodness, we ascend. If we have mode of passion, we stay there. And if we have mode of ignorance, we descend. So, dharma means that which helps us ascend, and adharma means which makes us descend. And that is why actions in mode of ignorance and actions in mode of passion, they mostly lead us to adharma. We will do something which will be adharma. And actions in mode of goodness, they mostly lead us to dharma. They make us aware of what is right. Okay. So, accordingly, so we see dharma is defined by two things. One is that which takes me closer to my innate nature, that is dharma. That which takes me away from my innate nature, that is adharma. And then, what exactly is dharma and what exactly is adharma, this is defined by Krishna. Right? Because I don't know what exactly is my nature, I am so forgetful. So Krishna has to tell me, see, if you do this, that is adharma. If you do this, that is dharma. So if you do this, means dharma, that will take you closer to your nature. Because I don't, at the current moment, I don't know my nature, my real nature, right? Whatever I know is my temporary nature. For example, I am a student. That is my temporary nature, right? After some time, I won't be a student. I will be either working in some company, or I will be doing some service somewhere, right? So, that is not my innate nature. It is temporary nature. So, Krishna tells us, this is your innate nature. That is why if you do this, that will take you closer to your innate nature. That is why this is called dharma. Now, there can be further distinctions. Dharma can also be at different levels. So a person who is here, so he does this, then it takes, that action takes him here. And if somebody is already here, he does something that takes him further elevated, right? So dharma also becomes, has different gradations. So the topmost dharma is that which connects us with our ultimate nature or the real original nature, and that is Krishna Bhakti. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhakti radhokshaje ahaitukya pratihata yayatma suprasidati. This is from Bhagavatam, first canto, second chapter. That what is param dharma? The param dharma is Krishna Bhakti, because that takes us to our innate nature, means our ultimate innate nature, that we are servants of Krishna. When we do Krishna Bhakti, then that is the topmost dharma. And what are lower than that? If I serve, let's say, if I serve my father, or if I serve my friend, that is also dharma, but that is, for example, my friend is very hungry and I get some food from the kitchen and serve him food. That is also dharma, that because I am serving. But that is one level of dharma. But a higher level of dharma will be, let's say, if I give him prasad, that will be even higher level of dharma. Right? So this was an example that how dharma can also have different levels. So depending on my current level, I will act in that dharma. So if I don't know anything about Krishna, I will give him ordinary food. But if I know about Krishna and I know there is a better dharma possible, then I will give him prasad. And with that prasad, that my friend's consciousness will be also elevated very high. So that is why it is higher dharma. Okay. Does that answer the question? Okay. I think we should stop here because it's almost 8 o'clock. There are some questions here which you can see, and which you can go through them, and if you have questions you can ask tomorrow from these questions. Okay. And tomorrow we'll be going to study about what is it called? Epistemology. That how do we know that God exists? So now we saw the empirical reasons, and tomorrow we will see some other reasons, like Krishna himself tells, or the servants of Krishna, or the representatives of Krishna, they tell us about God. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.